One common cause of low back pain is an overextension of the lower back. We call this a hyperlordosis. When this is the case, we see a forward rocking of the pelvis and an over-exaggeration of the normal curve in the low back. This causes the tissues in the low back, those muscles and joints, to become very tight and compressed. We also tend to see an inactivity of the abdominals in the front of the body, and we also see just a habit of holding our body in a hyperextended position. It can be hard to break that habit. So I'm going to take you through 3 strategies that, number 1, is going to help relax and reduce the compression of those tissues in the low back. Number 2, engage the abdominals in the front. And number 3, help you break that habit of holding yourself in that overly extended posture. So we're going to start by laying on our back. When you lay here relaxed, you're going to notice that there is some space between your lower back and the floor beneath you. We want to work on decreasing that space, on flattening the back against the floor. That's going to take us out of that overextended position in the low back. So to start, you can just take your hands, put them under your low back, and focus on pushing your lower back into your hands and holding, okay? When you do that, you're gonna feel you just have to engage those abdominals, okay? You can't do this without it. So you're gonna push your back into the floor, rocking that pelvis back, okay? Once you feel good pushing into your hands, just remove your hands and push into the floor and hold. Next, we're going to resort to an old favorite yoga move, the cat-cow. Nice thing about the cat-cow is we can work on spinal flexion and spinal extension. And when we have that hyperlordosis, when we have that overextended spine, it's the flexion that we need to work on. But unfortunately, sometimes people are just stuck in that hyperextension, and they just, as much as they try, they just can't push into that flexion at all. So what you can do is you can take a band, take the band, put it around the lower segments of your low back and go through the cat-cow, but really focus on isolating the movement to the lower part of the spine, pushing into that band. Push those lower segments into the resistance of the band. Again, think about rocking that pelvis back, tightening the abdominals, and push into the band. Next, we're going to work on training the strength of the lower abdominals by getting into a frog position, or what we call a 6-month developmental position. So you're going to start on your hands and knees. I then want you to space your knees out nice and wide and walk your hands forward so your torso makes a straight line with your thighs. Okay, from here, we really want to focus on avoiding that hyperextension. We want to focus on avoiding sticking that booty out. Bring your belt buckle up towards your nose so you're rocking your pelvis backwards, okay? Bring that belt buckle up towards your nose. You're going to feel those lower abdominals start to engage. From here, we can just hold this position as a plank as we engage that muscle, as we focus on rocking the pelvis back, or you can challenge yourself a little bit more by reaching out with one hand at a time. Always maintaining that good position in the lower abdominals and in the low back.